Why do you say that, Father? You aren't afraid, are you?
No, but I respect some of the superstitions of others. Often they are founded in fact.
This is your time. This is your call to arms. For the Cryptid Connection is your voice. I'm your host, J-Day.
And I'm your host, Steven. Welcome to Cryptid Connection. Let's get this chat started. And with us tonight, we have Jason. Hi, Jason.
How's it going, guys?
Great. You are a lucky winner, Jason, because we had a drawing on the Cryptid Connection website, and you are lucky number 1, our first researcher feature. Congratulations.
Tell me something. First off, let's go up. Do you have any questions about the website or anything like that? I know a lot of people don't necessarily know what it is or anything. Can we clear anything up for you?
At the moment, I think I understand it pretty well. I haven't been able to get on as much as I'd like to, so. But I do have your contact information, so I will be getting with you.
Well, fair enough. That's one of the primary things that site does. Is it's designed to go ahead and coordinate with people and allow them to get in touch with each other and everything else. So tell us, Jason, what have you been up to lately?
Well, other than the typical life, work, eat, and sleep, not much. Really haven't been out in the woods as much as I'd like to, but, we try to get out as often as we can. So,
what part of the world do you actually do your research in? If you don't need to be specific, but, like region, like Northeast Texas, Southeast Texas, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, I would probably say the Northeast Texas and then, Southeast Texas. But we have gone, as far as like Oklahoma and Tennessee to do some research before. So I'm pretty open to going anywhere, really. Okay.
And when you say we and everything else, are you referring to your uncle?
Oh, yes. Yeah. My Uncle Paul's done. We usually go together. We have each other's back,
So, Jason.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, when you do go out, what kind of exploring do you like to do? Do you like to use equipment? Are you the non-equipment type? Are you the overnight or the day hiker? What's an average expedition for you?
Well, usually what we like to do is we'll go out during the day and kind of scope out the areas that we're going to go back to at nighttime. That way we can kind of, get familiar with our surroundings and, so forth. And then usually we'll go back out at night. And, as far as equipment, we use game cameras and night vision and, voice recorders, just, really anything we can. I try to use as much as I can, but, some of that stuff's pretty pricey. So I can't always, have everything I need at once.
Yes, we all have our dream list of equipment. What's yours?
Mine would definitely be a thermal, a good thermal. That's something I don't have yet, and so I'm currently saving up to be able to purchase something hopefully pretty soon. So I think it's a great tool for anybody to have.
Maybe you'll get lucky and one day get on the website and see it on the swap shop.
That's true.
Oh, wow. I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know if you knew we had the swap shop, but the swap shop is a part of the website that's essentially kind of like a flea market. People can go and buy or sell anything they want, but it's only open to the members. And so,
okay.
If you have, let's say if you had a thermal that you had upgraded, and so now you don't need this one anymore, you can just list it on the swap shop. There's going to be another Cryptid member that very well might be looking for it, and you can sell it. And it's going to go to a good home, and it's going to go to someone who's got the same kind of interest as you and everything. So, and plus,
well, that's awesome. Yeah, I definitely didn't know we had that. I'll definitely be looking at that. That's cool.
Yeah, that's one of our features. And then, did you see our features about the podcast, Allie?
Podcast Alley. No, I haven't.
Well, let me say this. We all have our life out of the lifestyle of the cryptid lifestyle. So say you're driving home from work and you wanted that perfect podcast, but you're all out of the podcast you normally listen to. We now have a listing of podcasts that are listener given, submitted. If you have a podcast you like, you can submit it. So you can go on the website and find a brand new podcast you've never listened to and test it out.
Give you an idea.
Wow.
We've got, I think 23 of them currently, 23 different shows on the thing. And the shows are listed on the primary page. You'll just see the links to the individual shows. And then you click on that and we have a page for each show. And those are updated dynamically every hour. And it's a full listing of their public catalogs. So not only you see their newest show, you're going to see every show back that they publicly have. We have a few of them out there now that have 3,000, maybe 4,000 shows total. And I mean, it's just, it's obnoxious almost. We've got, let's see. I know we've got Saskron. I know we've got Confessionals. We've got Strange Things. We've got Monster X. Let's see. What's that one? The Bigfoot Collectors or something like that.
That's
right.
one.
Right. And then we've got UFO Tonight. I think because we're trying to branch out a little bit because we recognize that a lot of people that are cryptid oriented, they also have sometimes a little bit of interest in the paranormal or even the UFO stuff. And so we're trying to accommodate to that taste too and everything else. But anyway, you could go to this. I'm getting lost. You can go to this one single page in area on the website and you'd be able to browse, read all of the descriptions, everything else. So you're not having to hunt because part of the problem is you go looking for a podcast and it depends on who's carrying it. I mean, what program you're using? Are you using, if you're using iTunes or are you using Spotify, iHeartRadio, things like that. And they're all going to list different shows. And so it's kind of a hit and miss and everything else. We've brought them all together and trying to put them in one container, just right there. You can find them all and everything else. And if we have a show you want to have included in that, that's fine. There's a submission button right there. You click that, fill out the little email, send it to us, and we'll add it to the page.
That's really neat. So like, say you have your certain program that you click on that program, and then there's going to be a library of everything under that one program.
That is correct.
Exactly.
And the links are live. So you can click on the link for each individual show and that will start the player. That takes you actually to their site and or to play the video.
Feed.
Yeah. It's their RSS feed. And so you can sit there and browse, and just click on this one, click on that one, and a little window will pop up and there you go. You can listen to that podcast.
Cool.
Well, thank you. So tell us how you got into this interest.
Yeah, what got you in Bigfoot?
What got you in Bigfoot?
Well, it's kind of funny. My dad is the one that kind of got me started into it. We would talk about it, and finding Bigfoot was something that kind of sparked it a little bit. I mean, my dad was interested in the subject before then, but we started watching that together, and it just really got us going. And then, my uncle, Paul, also enjoyed the show. And, of course, he's been into it, quite a bit longer. But so I can't remember if he contacted the BFRO or if it was someone else. But we got invited to go on an excursion with them. And so from there on out, it just, kind of blossomed into what we're doing today. And I tell you, I love every minute of it. I love being out in the woods and just exploring and hearing and seeing things that, you never thought you would.
Tell me something. Was that one of those infamous BFRO paid expeditions that y'all went on?
It exactly was. Yes, sir. It was back in 2014, actually.
Oh, man.
What a long, strange trip it's been.
So yes, most definitely.
You actually haven't been that long necessarily in the field. I mean, you're only talking 4 or 5 years here.
Right, correct, yeah. Yeah, in the past few years, we were trying to get out a little bit more than we normally would. And I believe, it was, I can't remember, I want to say it was 2017 is when we went to Tennessee, Kentucky. We went to the Land Between the Lakes, and
wow,
which was really awesome. Yeah, it was really cool there. And so, it's taken us to some really cool places, and we've met a lot of really cool people, and become friends with a lot of people.
There's a lot of people out there that you never would have thought you could have met until you start into the Bigfoot thing or into the cryptid thing. It's amazing. So
it really is, yeah.
The Land Between the Lakes is actually on my bucket list. I'd love to go on an expedition out there myself. Do you have another item that might be on your bucket list? Another place? A dream expedition place.
Right. Yeah. I think everybody would probably think, like Bluff Creek or, where the Patty film was filmed. But, I would love to check that place out. I was probably not so much as active, back in the day as it is now, or vice versa. It's not active now like it was back then. But
yeah, but just to be there.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, it would be really cool just to see the area. I think that would be awesome. There's, I can't really think of any off the top of my head, but, I mean, just really anywhere that's active, I would love to go.
All right. I got a question for you. I'm going to put in here. Have you actually had any experiences yet? Have you had anything odd happen to you? Have you had a sighting or anything like that? Anything of interest?
I haven't had that, definitive, oh my goodness, that was a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch, but, we have had, a few things happen to us. There was just one time we were walking down a pipeline, gas easement, and I think it started off, we heard some whistling, and so we all had stopped, and there was a group of us, and so we'd all stopped. We were kind of scoping the area out a little bit. Well, down the pipeline, someone had saw something kind of leaning out from behind a tree, and it would go back and forth. And, of course, everybody turned and, was focused on that. And, of course, it was dark and it was hard to see. There was a few people that had night vision. And I want to say there was a couple of people that had thermals. And so, they saw something there, and you could kind of see it with your naked eye because there was a moon out, so it wasn't completely dark, but it wasn't, real bright either. And so, there was a few people that saw it. Well, we were going to have a couple of people walk towards it. And about that time, a tree branch had come flying out of the woods to the left of us, and it landed next to us. And it was a pretty good sized tree branch, and it wasn't dead. It was still alive. So, and you could tell that it had been snapped off a tree. It wasn't cut in any way. And I thought that was just really weird, the timing of it and how it got there. It's not like the tree branch just fell. It came out horizontal at us, so it was pretty wild.
I got a question. Were you, do you think you heard the branch get broken? Was there enough commotion or anything like that? Was there anything that sounded like snapping wood or something before it got thrown, or?
I don't really remember because we were so focused on what was down the pipeline from us.
Okay.
And I remember being focused on that. And so, no, I mean, I don't remember there being a tree snap or a tree break.
Maybe someone was trying to distract you from that area, saying, hey, look over here.
Right. Very possible. Yeah. And that's what I think. I think whatever that was that we were focused on and we started walking towards, I think the tree branch was a deterrent. It was something or somebody telling us, hey, don't go there,
So how big was the tree branch, or did you get a clear view of it?
Yeah, we went back to we looked at at night, obviously, with flashlights and stuff. But we went back the next day and it was still there. And, if I had to guess, it was probably 8 to 10 inches in diameter, and it was probably 4 to 4.5 feet long. I mean, it was a good sized branch.
That's a substantial branch.
Pick that up and throw it.
Yeah, I was about to say that's what most of us call firewood.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that we would have chopped up and burned, and like I said, it wasn't dead by no means. It was still pretty green wood, so.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's take a little break here. I'm going to do something that I modified from another podcast that I saw or listened to. It's called the Quick Cryptid Connection Query. I'm going to give you a list of cryptids, and I would like a yay, nay, or a say what. Yay is you believe in it. Nay is there's not a chance. Or say what is I've never heard of that thing. Does that sound like fun?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, so let's start. Bigfoot.
Yay.
Loveland frog.
Say what?
Jersey devil.
I'll say yay.
Flatwoods monster.
Say what?
Beast of Bladdenborough.
A big say what?
Mothman.
Yay.
Okay, Beast of Bray Road.
Say what?
I almost butchered that one. El Chupacabra.
I'm going to say nay on that one.
Loch Ness monster.
Yay.
Jackalope.
Nay.
Ball-tailed cat.
Oh, yay. Yeah.
Owlman of Monan.
Nay.
Dover demon.
Say what?
Talipo.
That's going to have to be another say what?
Fresno Nightwalker.
Nightwalker. Yay.
Black shuck.
Nay.
Glaucus.
Say what?
Cactus cat.
I'm going to have to say say what on that one.
Any type of alien. Like a gray or the black-eyed children, maybe.
Yeah, I'll say yay. I think it's possible.
Okay, there you go. There is Jason's yay, nay, or say what. I'll tell you what, though. For me, I grew up in Vermont, and we have Champ, the local Loch Ness monster type creature. So I have to say yay on that one myself.
Right. Okay. That's cool.
Yep.
Just for the record, I want to say that half of those I was not familiar with either.
Yeah.
I did. I Googled a few of them myself.
I really, really want to know where you dug that list up.
Right.
My secret.
Right.
Anyway.
And I'm going to have more of them for the next few guests.
All right.
What?
Yeah, you're not going to let people just know your list. You're going to keep changing it every interview.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're that kind of person.
It's fun.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah. Because, repetitiveness is no fun.
Okay. Jason, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but you're talking about your experience that you had and everything in the easement with the log being thrown at you and everything. If at some point, let's say you had a recorder. Actually, no. You know what? I'm talking about the wrong thing here. We need to be talking about the recent recording you and your uncle got. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about that, the one that Shane did the spectrogram on and got posted and shared on Facebook.
Yeah. So, my uncle and I have a research area we go to, and I'll just call it the Trinity area for now. And it's pretty crazy because it's so close to the city, and we're literally in people's backyards. And but it's close to the Trinity, a branch of the Trinity River. And so my uncle had got contacted by somebody that was having some issues there at their house. And so we went and checked it out. And, we went out, and behind this guy's house is a green belt, and it's a pretty good sized green belt. And right in the middle of that green belt is the branch of the Trinity River. So, well, we went out there and, we hung up some cameras and some voice recorders. And so that's where the recording came from. And the recording itself, the actual recording of the sound we got I think it was 7 minutes long. And so, I think Paul had only sent 5 minutes of it to Shane. So I will say we had sent that off to somebody else that was pretty well known in the Bigfoot world. And what he sent back to us was that he thought it was a bird. And me and my uncle both knew that there was no way that it could be a bird. So kudos to Shane for doing what he did and kind of just acknowledging what me and my uncle kind of felt to begin with, and, we're still unclear on what it is, but it's definitely very interesting. We look forward to getting back out there and putting out some more recorders and hopefully leaving them out for a little bit longer because I believe we had just let that out for a weekend and we caught that over the weekend. So it was pretty neat, pretty awesome.
Wow. I can't wait to hear more evidence if you're willing to share it. Speaking of that, we will have some sound references on our reference library on the website as well.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot to even mention that. We're having a new section that just recently went up on it, and it's called Links and Libraries. And we're trying to gather various resources that people use, say like the Macaulay Library of Sounds and Bioacoustica, things like that. Again, it's in one page, one area, and just to help you go through and find the different sites. And we have a submission button again as researchers come in and they find a site or a resource that's on the internet.
It's all about sharing our sources.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I'll admit I played around with that recording as well, and I am at a loss as to what that is. It is. However, I will say this. I think I got the impression that whatever it was kind of moving away from y'all slowly or away from the recorders. And the reason why I say that is I saw like a 5-minute clip of that sound, if I remember right. And it slowly shifted up a teeny bit, just a little bit. And I was just wondering if I had essentially maybe some sort of a Doppler effect or something like that, where it just, maybe gone like 200 yards, or something like that. It wasn't a fast or major movement at all, but I did find that interesting.
I got you. So also on that same recording, I can't remember if Paul sent it to Shane or not, but we did have something that had walked up to the recording, and you could tell it was bipedal, and it almost sounded like it fiddled with that recorder, and then you could hear it walking off. So yeah, I mean that's interesting.
Don't you hate it when you get those things because you can never be sure?
No,
exactly.
yeah.
We've had one or two of those we've caught ourselves down in Southeast Texas, and you hear it. And you're just like, well, there's not a whole lot I can do with this, I mean, and half the time you'll get people, coming up and they'll say, oh, that's definitely bipedal. And other people will say, oh, no, that's entirely a, hog or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
And then, you want to sit there and say, well, let me play something that's 4-legged for you, or something like that. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
And everything. But, again, that's the problem with hearing something like that, where you're walking up and everything, is it could be anything and there's no way to necessarily identify it. Whereas if you're dealing with an animal call, the animal calls you can assign to different animals. You can tell what it is by the, and everything else. And so you can actually identify, or rather get a lack of identity for something. And, if we're left with a big question mark, that's the goal, because if it's a question mark, if we don't know what it is, it's got to be our mystery friend that's out there.
Absolutely. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look, we're coming up. It's actually been a little over 40 minutes, I think, now, and everything. We're going to go ahead and let you go. I know you've been feeling like you're on the hot seat and everything else, and this was your first interview, I think, correct?
Oh, yes, it was. I think I kind of mentioned y'all. I was a little nervous, but man, it flew by.
Jason.
Yeah,
we're fine. Don't worry. We have the miracle of the edit button, so any of those embarrassing things we can take out.
Right, I gotcha. It was definitely fun. I enjoyed it.
Fair enough.
Well, if you do us a favor, and if you find yourself on the website, we love the criticism, the positive, positive criticism. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Let's be PC. But if you feel so called to do so, we'd love to hear from you again.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to get on those chats and start up and everything. And remember, we've got the groups. Your uncle started a group for Northeast Texas and everything else right there. And so we've already got discussions going, and his recording, he's already posted up in that as well. And so if anybody wants to go and hear it and everything else, it's available there.
And the beauty about the groups is it can be private or public, depending on how
that's
it
right.
wants to be set.
At this time, that's a public group, but that's right. If Paul wanted to at some point create a private group, he could.
And I know Stephen had mentioned... I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying that's interesting. I didn't know we could do that. Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah. And as Stephen said at the beginning, since you are a verified member, you used your name. We know that you are a real person.
Yeah, it's the fact we know you. We personally know you. So that's you are definitely a verified representative. That is one thing we're implementing on the site is we are trying to verify identity, and really what it is we're trying to prove that you're a real person.
Not a fake account.
Right.
Not
a
pretending
bot.
To be somebody. A bot.
And everything. So, people that we don't necessarily know but want to become verified members, that's fine. It's just going to be, we're going to call them up and we're going to have essentially kind of an interview with them. Ideally, I would like to have like a video conference or something like that. And it just might be 2 minutes, but just enough so that we can actually confirm, this matches the information that you provided and everything else. And then we're good. And then we verified it.
We don't track your movements on the site.
No.
We don't have advertisements. No
advertisements. That's part of the whole point of it. There's no tracking. This is an entirely private site. And so, we're not selling your info. We're not going to send advertisements to you. We're not even putting ads on the site itself or anything like that. It's entirely member supported and everything. It's all done by the membership fees. And it does, as it grows, it takes a pretty penny to run something like this, and so, and everything. But the ability for you to go somewhere and not be tracked. I mean, like right now, you go to Facebook.
Or not be snickered at.
Or not be snickered at. But if you go to Facebook and you mention something or you look at something, isn't it kind of funny how maybe 30 minutes later, you close Facebook, you go to another website or something like that. Oddly enough, that thing pops up. It's because they're tracking you. They're tracking every movement and everything else. We're specifically designed not to do that. And so what goes on inside a Cryptid Connection stays in Cryptid Connection. It doesn't come out and everything. And we don't have the bots. We don't have fake accounts. That was actually one thing I did not want to do when we set out and designed the website. A lot of websites that are community-based websites, they'll sit there and they'll inflate their numbers and they'll put 100 or 200 fake identities. I was actually really surprised. They sell these things on the internet. You can buy 500 identities here, 7, and they're not stolen identities. They're just fake accounts. It's kind of like if you ever go on a dating website and you see all of these girls that are available, but funny enough, none of them actually ever respond to an email you do or anything like that. Well, it's because they're not real. They're fake. They're just there to make it look like there's a bunch of people there. And that actually really bothered me. And so we haven't done any of that. Every member that is on this website is and will be an actual real person. And so that matters a lot. There's an integrity there that I feel we owe the community and everything else.
Absolutely. And it should make people a little bit more comfortable with it as well, you know.
That's the whole
goal.
idea. That is the whole idea. A safe and secure place for the entire cryptid community to come to. And you know, we don't care about your position or anything like that. We can accommodate all the different points of view. Mm-hmm. You know, I myself, I admit, I'm a flesh and blood guy. Jason, I know you're kind of a flesh and blood guy.
But there are others who have different opinions or thoughts on the matter, and they are welcome as well.
Yep. With, you know, I mentioned those groups earlier that they've got where they could, you know, each person can operate their own group or create a group, and they can invite people in. So, you know, just like you do on Facebook, you've got different groups here and different groups there. You can manage it all in the same way. And they can be either public, they can be private, or they can be secret. Now, the secret groups, again, it's, you know, you create it, you make it secret, and then you have to actually invite people to come in and join it. And so there is a lot of control that are there. Now, let's say this. Let's say you get on the website and for some reason you don't want to be a member. You've signed up, you've got that first month, and you're just not excited about it.
You're not feeling it.
You're just not feeling it.
Yeah.
That's okay. You are able to cancel. The cancellation process is actually very simple and everything. It's under your member's account, and you can just navigate right there, and you can hit cancel. Around that cancel button too, there is another button. We have to be privacy compliant, and right now Europe has the most stringent privacy laws. You can actually, pardon me, you can actually extract all of your data off of the site and pull it down. Everything you have, all of your conversations, all your photos, your files.
Deletes anything.
Yeah, it pulls everything off, and it'll put it into a file. So you can sit there and that'll let you know everything the website has about it. But there is also a delete button that allows you to remove all of that. Mm-hmm. Now,
oh wow, that's awesome.
There are some things that it won't remove. Like say you're in a conversation with someone. It's not going to remove what they say, but it would remove what you say. You know, that kind of thing. So you know, there's the old thing, you know, if it's on the internet, you can never fully get rid of it and everything.
Right. Right.
That's true, but we're trying to be as close to it as we can give you and everything. And so, but yeah. Well, hey, we've probably taken up enough of your time. Let's go ahead and say goodnight to you, and we're going to wrap this up.
Good night, Jason.
All right. Good night, y'all. Thank y'all for everything.
All right.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
You have a good night.
You too.
Every cowboy, he always misses when he's aiming at the target in his head. And every broken man finds his idle hands grasping at tomorrow's promised land. And I've been thinking about running, and I'll get out on the town just for myself. And that's when I saw her, and she looked right through me. And when I said I do that day, I really do. gotta leave this town to find my way. And when that plane touched down on that island town, I knew that my life's work was in their hands. So I started digging wells of water, and I'm a hero in their eyes. It's clear to see. 'Cause every cowboy, he always misses his shot when he's aiming at the target in his head. And every broken man finds his idol hand, grasping at tomorrow's promised land. And I've been thinking about the time that I have wasted sitting here. 'Cause I've been thinking that all this thinking is the thing that keeps me further from